Hey everybody, and welcome back to a casted game on Age of Bison here in our 2v2 tournament. So this is game 2 of Scala, which is Shaharns and Komendi, versus Pistol Pete and myself, Platypus Slayer, as Team P. The usual uh, perennial underdogs, both sides though. So game 1, we absolutely came back from a harrowing loss. Early game, where Pete lost half his eco. We were able to take good fights, have good strategies. So now this is Nile Valley. And this is a violent map, and this map favors kind of rushes and stuff. And so with that kind of prefaced, let's get into it. So here on the left, for Scala, we got Komendi playing as Haudenosaunee, and we've got Shaharns playing as the Brits. Really good combo. On a map like this, you kind of know what Hod's going to do, because there's no reason for them to do anything else. I guess in theory they could go water, but why go water when the plateau is just so bereft of resources that it's going to come down to an early fight, and it's going to snowball out of control. It's how every game on this map feels like. Very few civs, maybe like Japan or Dutch, can really sit in a corner and get through this. And on our side, we're playing as Haudenosaunee, one of my, if not my favorite civ in the game. And Pete here, giving a little finger in the eye of old Putin, playing as the Russians, one of his best and favorite civs. So initially into this matchup, I was really worried about Hussar switches from Brits. You know, Haudenosaunee can use their hand cav, the Kanya Horsemen. It's not the greatest. They're definitely better with their infantry in H2, especially with all the cards that can scale for a long time. But again, not the best eco. And Russia over here, a bit of a wild card. Russia is weak to heavy cav, um, especially with the Boyar nerf. But you know, Russia scales better than any civ in H2, especially on land, should they go on long enough. So it's just going to come down to who gets the initiative first, wins the first fight, and it's probably just going to snowball from there. So really nerve-wracking. I'll try not to miss any action, but it's probably going to be a quick and bloody one, guys. All right, decks are soon to be in. Let's see what we got. Haudenosaunee aging up with the team. Pretty standard 2v2 deck here for Haudenosaunee, except for the 6 Forest Prowlers, which is a bit odd. Not the best value, but yeah, Forest Prowlers are always good. Shaharns, again, standard Brit deck, almost the exact same except for an extra fort instead of heavy or the 3 rocket card. Also bringing the Hanover Allies, a really good card, often underutilized by players.
Yes.
Matthew Tom, let's see if there's any cool names for the explorers. Nope. Okay, it's just standard. And over here for myself, 2v2 noob, that's me. The perennial noob. I really like this deck though. I'm a little bit biased, of course, because I think it's a little bit more flexible than Komendi's. Komendi's is definitely all in the age 2 play. This is a little bit more flexible, but you know, Hod doesn't like to go in the late game anyways. And for Pistol Pete, my ally, 2v2 land, Spice Trade, and Medicine. So again, if we sit in age 2 forever, we should be fine, but he's aging up with 17 vills, and this is kind of a controversial thing sometimes for Russia. Controversial is not the right word, but contentious. Because it takes so long to get that batch out that if you go 14, you age up fast, you get a lot of momentum, but your economy can peter out really fast, especially in 2v2 situations. My trade post also came up late because I tried to be cute, put one here, they took it. Don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, we're kind of playing a little bit greedy, and I am aging up with the slow age up. He's aging up with the messenger, so it's definitely going to be Shaharns and Komendi getting the initiative in this fight. So we, me being Pete and myself, have to figure out a way to basically beat the initial rush, and it all comes down to that. You know, rushes are really stressful, especially in team games, because it doesn't matter how good of a player you are to some extent. It doesn't matter what your plan is or your strengths are in the late game. People can just hammer you, and that's it. I mean, if you're up against a better player, which on paper we are the stronger team here, these guys are making the right decisions. Punch hard, punch fast. You can't out APM a quadrillion dudes. It's just that simple, especially in Age of Empires 3. So, very smart strategy. And again, this map allowing you to kind of, you know, take a spot here, and it looks like I'm able to catch a Vil, right? So I know that a Vil is coming now. I go to Trabah. This is something you can do against Haudenosaunee players. I'm probably going to regret saying this, but especially in 1v1s, if you just want to slow them down a pinch, snare the Travah. Of course, by the time I see it, it's just basically there. But especially sometimes when they do the fast age up, they have to be really crisp with the Kanya Horseman. Timing and right, that buys me a little bit of time. By making it pop out of the town center. Just a neat little trick. You know, Hod, very strong. Aena, admittingly probably OP right now. But just like that, something I've never figured out is why this blockhouse takes so much damage so fast. But he is able now, and Pete's panicking. He's like, dude, I'm in trouble. I'm in age 2, but my Travah, I decided to place down defensively. We kind of realized that this is not a good idea. And maybe in hindsight, you know, check the comments. Maybe I should have put my Warhut out here. But with how much damage that blockhouse has taken. I mean, look at that. Half-life for one Explorer. Moonshine never listens to this. Why Russia? Bad Civ? Stuff like that, buddy. Stuff like that. So, at this point, I kind of rush forward. I just trying to buy time for some of the Strelets, or at least the Vills, to come out. But, I mean, Pete is trying to get Cossacks out, trying to get Strelets. He's just not going to be able to. And just like that, we're forced all the way back. Pete now, you know, he sent wood first. He's trying to get a blockhouse, but remember I said this is a game of inches. These guys right now are playing perfectly. They take the advantage. They kind of press, keeping these horsemen in the back, knowing that, you know, he's likely to ship Strelets or have access to Strelets soon, and not to throw them away. I do have these Aena. Again, solid unit since the rate of fire buff, and kind of buy us some time, but I mean, we've lost a lot of initiative. And in hindsight, I think my shipment order, like perhaps not getting the market, might have been not necessarily the best call. You know, it's going to take down my TP. This does give us a little bit of time, but again, our momentum is going to be down. I have 18 Vills. Pistol Pete has 20. Brits have 20. Or sorry, the other Haudenosaunee has 20. And Shaharns has 26, right? Brits are going to outscale most of us in the short term. Again, you know, using the healer to kind of heal up my army. I've got a lot of units, but again, these Aeta now are going to start pouring out. Lots of musketeers. Pete, really quick though, right? He does lose a Vil, but he is, you know, missed that raid. But it looks like he's able to use the Cossacks to chase him off, and I kind of poke around a bit. Just trying to see if I can get something, especially with the target lock now, and the faster firing animation. And we have quite the force, and this is always, like I said, the hard part, right? Do you push or not? I think in hindsight, we shouldn't have pushed, but again, Pete's basically noting that Brits are going to outscale us pretty hard here if the game goes on long enough. But doing a good job, taking a good fight. And again, we're kind of short on muskets, and so these, you know, Kanya, if they connect, it's going to be really deadly. And when you're fighting underneath a blockhouse or a war hut, you never know what's going to hit you. Yep, and just like that, we're forced to go packing. Again, not a good fight. In hindsight, it's always 2020, but I think we could definitely agree that I should not have pushed there. And these guys doing a perfect job now to start advancing. Team Scala smells blood in the water, and they're just going for it. And they're playing very smoothly here, using the advantage. And again, I think the placement, too, of the blockhouse was a little bit off. Like, perhaps it could have been here or right here, just to help us buy a little bit more time. But again, with 2 villager shipments, I believe I only have 1. So yeah, this is looking here pretty rough for Team Pete, myself here. And you know, again, these Aena, they're doing good. Let's see if we can get a, you know, rate of fire is going up, but there's just so much more Aena. You know, and again, the Brit Musketeer, something else I didn't even think about until afterwards too, but the Musketeers for both these teams, or sorry, not both these, but Scala's team is going to scale a lot better too, because the Brit card is the team card. Yeah, Pete now sending spice trade, which may have been a bit too greedy in hindsight, but he's also starving for food. Um, yeah, we're basically pushing him back here, and Brit losing a lot, but second rack's coming down from Brit. And again, our scores are looking so much worse. They have full map control. We're like one bad raid from losing this game. You know, again, we're taking, I think, okay fights here. The Ana doing pretty solid. Ana on Ana violence. But with the War Hut, and again, there's not a lot of siege here. The Strelets are whittling down the Brit Musketeers. And back at home, Pistol Pete's at 30 Vils. Comendi's at 32. Jaharn's at 26. And I'm only at 30. So, yeah, I've definitely not done as good as I can. I have that blockhouse down. I'm going to try to get another Warhead. I should have had that out earlier. You know, again, hindsight's 2020, but now these AN are just going to run around and cause chaos, and we don't really have a unit to counter them because they're going to shred even Strelets because their rate of fire is going to just go through the roof when they get close. And they're already pretty beefy, right? So, still making Vils. Finally sending in my Kanya. Perhaps too little too late. Pistol Pete here. Going up with the Vils. Ready, yep, getting HP now buffs. And they're squeezing us out like a boa constrictor. And again, really smart playthroughs from Team Skull. Again, this map, if you're constricted to the plateau, it's only a matter of time before you die. It's just that simple. It's almost like an RE map, but lots of res, but just in the middle. Very easy to get contained on this map, and they're just, you know, getting sitting outside the town center. We're trying to remass, but it's looking pretty rough for us right now. We're basically hoping that we'll get a good fight. I think I'm trying to do a switch, but you know, get some Kanya horsemen out, but it's still not. It's not fantastic. Okay, down to 1.9 because of their Explorer. 50% DPS up close, just absolutely monstrous. Definitely helps the Ana, which we're not the best unit in the game, and at the same time, probably a bit overtuned. So yeah, now they're backing up. They've crippled us, right? They know that they've done a great job containing. We've had to spend res into remassing. They're able to just continuously kind of lock the map down. You know, free hunts all over the place. It's looking tough. So at this point, we're like, look, we got to find a way to buy time, and just, you know, get onto the map, right? Because again, this is a ticking time bomb here. Could have probably gone Berbers at some point. And just like that, Pete sends some units out to go raid, doing the Pete special, but I look at that Ana mass. All out of one War Hut. That is the power of Haudenosaunee. Unless there's another one floating around here somewhere. Nope. Although, Comendi, if you are watching this, you probably lock this down, maybe even lock this so your eco keeps up. And definitely outpaces mine. And there is the Huss switch. So, just like that, looks like Pete is going to find some Vils.
Okay.
And I've got the Kanya up here. But again, my Kanya, they're not going to last against proper hand infantry. Also, I need to get my Explorer back up, but losing him too, I'm at a pretty rough disadvantage. And look at that, it's all Strelets, but now these Hussar are just going to feast. And, you know, again, Pete's splitting his units out. He's trying to get some raids in. Good control there by Scala. Just basically trying to force out these Kanya. You know, I'm trying to shield my units, but I just don't think it's enough or it's going to do anything. Again, Kanya are not the greatest horsemen on the planet. They'd be a little bit better, at least, if I had my War Chief alive, but not great. And just like that, I mean, we are getting cleaned up here. Scala doing a great job. Again, these even from that distance, firing pretty fast. Machine gunning everything down in sight, and I just think Strelets are just completely outclassed at this point, so Yeah, but what else are you gonna make? I mean, it's a tough one. And ironically, I mean, if you look at the scores here, almost completely down. Cometti now going for the kill, sacrificing his vills, all for basically pure DPS. Kind of a smart move there. Something that a lot of HOD players don't use as much. And again, Aena, even with the heavy infantry nerf, these things are not the strongest. So just getting cleaned up. Do have extra range resist, but you know these Aena are actually pretty strong hand attack as well. They actually do more damage against infantry up close. Fun fact. So I see there's a bunch of vills down there, and I think I'm like, let me just try to do something here. Yep, alert Pete. We start killing the vills, but I just think it's too late. Sorry too, guys. I've been moving around. Trolls, I'm sending that. What else have I sent? Basically sent everything he needs to in H2, including fast infantry. Comendi now. Just doing a good amount of damage. Again, trying to send some Kanya and raid. But I mean, you know, 32 vills, 40 vills. I've got 36 vills, but I've got no army, right? And at the end of the day, both of our decks perhaps just a bit too greedy, knowing that this was going to be a very aggressive map. I think we made some pretty poor calls, and I think the Scala team here punished it perfectly. You know, recognizing when it was. You know, again, he goes up. Now these blockhouses can't go up. He's completely idled. He's surrounded on all sides. Pete's got 21 idols. I mean, that's his whole eco. And even though we've cleaned up a lot of vills, I just don't think it matters. And I think at this point, we're basically just praying for a miracle and for these guys to throw, which so far they've shown pretty good skill at not doing. So it finally does have to call back some Hussar. We've idled most of it. And again, we've done a great job whittling them down, but yeah, Pete's like, I don't think it matters, dude. And look at that, Committee right on top of it. Tries to do the Vil pull. Perfect response. Good reflex. I mean, good job from these guys. It's absolutely dominating performance. And Pete, now he's pulling Vils, but I think at this point, you know, the writing's on the wall. Pete's almost double scored. Russia may underscore, but not like that bad. And you know, my score is kind of equal now to Brits, but like, what are you going to do against, what, triple carded by now? Yeah, triple carded. He's just missing one more. Or sorry, double carded. Soon probably to be triple carded units. And Pete's got nothing to defend me. I'm going to lose that. By that, of course, I mean my forward war hut. Because you guys are not mind readers. Wow, this is just like, I mean, absolutely dominant performance here by Team Scala. And, you know, we came back last time, but we are not necessarily, I think, going to be able to come back from this. I think Team Scala executed a perfect rush strategy. They got their units where they needed to, and we did not. We were a bit slow. Russia was a bit slow to age up. I was a bit slow. Our placements were off. Timings were off. And it cost us the game. And, yeah. At this point, I'm looking at like, do you have anything for this? Pete's like, sorry, dude. It's like, all right. You know, Hanover allies coming in. He's still at that town center. Just complete cleanup there. Corral's cleaned up. And GG, well played, called by me and then Pete. And again, it goes on for 18 minutes, but I think the first 10 minutes, even shorter than that, probably for 7 minutes, decided the game. An absolute dominant performance there by Scala. After in a first game, we're able to come back, give them the runaround. They do not make the same mistake this time. They're able to lock down the map right in the middle, play their civ strength, and just keep us corralled in this very vulnerable, plateau. And every mistake we made, they capitalized on. Just showing again why they are such a strong team. And despite having a lot of bye weeks, that these guys absolutely deserve to be here and, deserve to be in the kind of the mid bracket that they find themselves in. Wonderful, wonderful performance there. Looking at the resources, Again, I'm able to kind of outgather, but I don't have the right units at the right time. Like if you look at the military, look at that. Look at that. What a champion. Not a champion. Not poggers, not poggers, right? Looking at Pete's score, he did actually a good deal better than me, I would say. Get a lot of value out of Astrelets, but we just weren't able to bring our units to bear at the same time. You know, they just stay on top, and we lose here, and we're just never able to recover. And it just gets worse and worse for us throughout the rest of the game. Although we do get some good raids in, but again, too little, too late, right? We're not able to really take off. Um, you know, we have the better eco and close to the better eco, but again, just doesn't matter in these type of maps, right? So, you know, this is a perfect example of why 2v2s can be extremely brutal on certain maps and why it comes down to your opening. You know, you can be the best treaty player on the planet, but it won't mean anything if you don't have the right units out at the right time. Right? Resource to gather. You look at that; they just completely outgather us. Total domination. So, with that, the series is now tied. Now, I said I would cast game number 3, and I would, except for, of course, it is out of sync. So unfortunately, you guys will not get to watch the game 3 of the series, but we do end up losing on an extremely intense map on Yucatan, and kind of the same thing again. You know, again, Shaharns and Komedi doing a good job to kind of do all ins and are able to punish us, me and Pete, before we're able to set up the proper counter thing. So really good game sense from these guys. Although, you know, again, their villagers and their economy are really weak to raids. So on a map like Yucatan, they're able to kind of turtle a bit, do an excellent job. And they are, with that, secure, I believe, the 6th or 5th seed in our finals. So you will be seeing these guys again. And me and Pete, we have to give it one last college try against another team next week to see if we can squeak into the 7th or 8th seed. So hope you guys have enjoyed it. Again, this was a solo cast. Most of our series will not be like this. It's just with it being summer and everyone busy. I'm just trying to get, you know, the content to you, our loyal and very patient probably viewers. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this cast. Yeah, this has been a really fun series. It's been an amazing tournament to play, and I'm actually, even grumpy old me is actually quite happy with Age of Empires 3. Even a game like this, man, you lose to this, you're not pissed and a moaning. It wasn't cheese. They didn't, you know, use a glitch or an exploit or some broken card. They just beat the shit out of us, and they did it fair and square. So my hats go off to them, and I look forward to casting more Scala games. And for the rest of you guys, stay tuned, and hopefully we will have the rest and some more series out here soon. So like, subscribe if you enjoyed this cast, and I hope to see you on the next one.